If cartoon characters can be charged for their crimes, the kids at South Park better start running now. After spending 200 hours glued to my TV screen like that girl in Poltergeist, I've discovered an insane amount of crimes that Eric Cartman could be charged for.
You what?
I'll be covering all of the fat, bigoted sociopath's misdeeds, but I must warn you, some of these crimes you're about to see in this video are just pure, downright evil. Cartman can be a very angry little boy, and his temper does lead to some destruction here and there. For example, there was that time he destroyed like 90% of the stuff in Butters' room. I can kind of get why he did that, though. I mean, Butters did have this mega embarrassing videotape of Cartman.
Would you like to touch my body? Come on and touch my body. My hot body, don't you like my hot body? Touch my titties. I've got just like my titties. Justin, touch my body. Ooh, Justin, yeah. Touch my body, you and me.
Why would he even film that anyway? Oh, and don't forget Cartman destroyed Butters' stuff again in the episode The Death of Eric Cartman.
You think this is funny? You think it's funny? Eric, calm down. Stupid butthole god.
Vandalism carries a sentence of about 6 months, so for those two instances alone, Cartman's gonna be in the slammer for 1 year. And I'm honestly surprised he hasn't vandalized more stuff, but I couldn't find anything else worth talking about. Cartman hates Kyle simply for no other reason than that he is a Jew. However, in the episode Tonsil Trouble, Eric took that hatred to an extreme and downright evil level. Cartman has just gotten his tonsils removed at Hell's Pass Hospital, and the name of the hospital really couldn't have been more fitting.
I'm afraid that we've accidentally infected you with the AIDS virus.
What? What's that supposed to mean?
During the tonsil surgery, we had to supply you with donor blood. A mistake was made and you were given blood contaminated with HIV. It was a 1 in a billion fluke.
I have AIDS?
Not yet, but we've confirmed that you now have the virus that causes AIDS. We are very sorry.
Sorry? You gave me AIDS and you're sorry?
The doctors tried to apologize by giving Cartman ice cream, and he understandably throws it to the ground. The boys at school are informed of Cartman's disease and told to not treat him any differently. Kyle finds this ironic because Cartman has literally bullied him for years on end at this point. A benefit concert is thrown for Eric, but the only people who show up are Butters, Jimmy, and Jimmy Buffett. The next day, Kyle can't stop laughing about the failed concert.
Oh yeah, it's real funny, Kyle. I'm sorry. I'm really, Cartman, I feel really bad for you. No, you don't. I do. If you really felt bad, you'd wipe that smirk off your face. Well, any goddamn second, Kyle.
This infuriates Cartman, and he later breaks into Kyle's house to get his horrible revenge.
You think HIV is something to be laughed at, Kyle? Well, let's just see how funny it is now.
Kyle is taken to the hospital and told that he has AIDS. Straight away, he knows it was Cartman who gave him the disease and runs to the school to kill him. A fight breaks out but gets broken up by Mr. Mackey. The boys are then taken to the principal's office and forced to apologize to each other.
I think you owe Kyle an apology.
I'm sorry.
That's better. And now, Kyle, maybe you should also admit you were wrong for tattling.
What?
Kyle, the thing about tattling is tattling's bad, okay? Because nobody likes a tattletale, okay?
He infected me with AIDS. See, he's tattling again. He hasn't learned a thing, you guys.
Both of them then fly to LA and meet Magic Johnson, the guy who's had AIDS for 50 years. The three of them visit an AIDS research center, and they couldn't have arrived at a more perfect time because the scientists have just discovered that money can destroy HIV particles. The boys get cured of their deadly illness, but that doesn't mean Cartman's off the hook for deliberately spreading the disease to Kyle. That little stunt would earn him a whole year in jail. But I suppose the biggest criminal here was that doctor who accidentally gave Cartman HIV in the first place. Now, what's something you'd expect a 10-year-old to steal? Candy, toys, the answers to an upcoming pop quiz. How about a frickin' dead body? It's Halloween time in South Park, and the boys are inspecting the preparations for the Halloween haunt, where they encounter some 5th grade bullies.
Give it up, Kenny. You're not gonna win the costume contest. Your costumes always suck.
We scared you, chickens.
We weren't scared.
Well, you should be. The pirate ghosts are gonna come get you.
I refuse to believe Kenny's Halloween costumes suck. The boys want to scare the 5th graders back, but they're not gonna do it with a ghost story.
Okay, it's almost open. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Whoa, dude. Oh my God. Hi, Grandma. Hi, Kyle. Ah! have you been making, Grandma Pred? Damn it, Cartman, that's not funny. Yes, it is.
I mean, they literally could have stolen a similar looking prop from a Halloween store, but okay. The guys hide Kyle's grandma at the docks, but a dog smells the rotting corpse and takes it away without anyone seeing. The graveyard wardens have already noticed a body is missing at this point, and they inform Sheila Broflovsky that they suspect her mother's corpse has been stolen by necrophiliacs. A meeting is held at the town hall to discuss the crime, but gets interrupted by a pirate ghost.
No, don't go to the docks. Arrgh! Arrgh, I'm Captain Bligh. You landlubbers had better stay away from the dock, or else they'll be hell to pay.
The boys learn the dead grandma isn't at the docks, and the band Korn believes the pirate ghosts are behind it. They split into two teams and investigate. Cartman's team creates a trap using a blow-up doll as bait, and they hilariously end up catching the other team. Meanwhile, Korn's bird Niblet ends up capturing the ghosts in a net, and Priest Maxie is revealed to be the one who tried to scare everybody. The mystery was solved, but what the hell happened to Kyle's grandma?
Yeah, where's Grandma? There she is.
That dog must have the stretchiest stomach ever. For his part in robbing Kyle's grandma from her grave, Cartman would be sentenced to 18 months in jail. But at least the 5th graders would be too creeped out to ever mess with him. Cartman is super impulsive and short-tempered, so the absolute worst item that kid could own is a gun. And unfortunately for Eric's mom, her son's pistol is his all-time favorite toy.
I will go to bed when this movie is over, Mom.
Eric, where did you get that?
Turn off the light and go back to bed. I'm staying up.
Eric, you march right up to your room.
I don't think
and
so, Mom.
Since the kid's 10, the gun is obviously not registered and therefore illegal. And you're likely wondering how he even got a gun in the first place. Well, he probably got it at the same store Leanne got hers from.
I told you to go upstairs right now.
Whoa, Mom, what the hell?
I'm not gonna tell you again, Eric. It is time for night-night.
Mom, put down the gun.
You tell him, Leanne! Threatening someone with a deadly weapon is classified as menacing, and if Cartman was found guilty, he'd be jailed for 3 years. And for possessing a gun illegally, that's another 18 months in jail. We've all made bets as kids, and if we lost, our end of the bargain was usually nothing more than handing over a toy or cracking open our piggy banks or something like that. If only Kyle could say the same. Cartman makes a bet with Kyle that if he can catch a leprechaun, Kyle must suck his balls. If not, he owes him $10. And lo and behold, a real-life leprechaun shows up.
Oh, geez, I think it's a leprechaun. Dude.
Me, it's a leprechaun.
Get that leprechaun!
Somehow I doubt the leprechaun's gonna give any treasure to a rude little frick like Cartman. The boys chase the magical creature through the forest, but he gets caught in one of Cartman's traps. However, Cartman forgot one thing when he set up the trap. Leprechauns have the power of magic.
Tell me where the code is or you die. Lou.
Where'd he go?
I was sent to warn of a terrorist attack. Now the terrorists will prevail.
The impending terrorist attack is definitely the worst thing that's about to happen, but there's a close second, at least for Kyle.
Kyle, suck my balls.
This episode definitely made me very uncomfortable. The next day, Kyle rants to the other boys about not wanting to suck Cartman's balls and that he still doesn't believe leprechauns are real. But his venting gets interrupted by a pervy-looking fat guy who takes the boys to Imagination Land, prove that anything can be real if they imagine it. The magical creatures ask the boys about the leprechaun they saw, when suddenly the terrorists do, in fact, attack.
Well, he said there was gonna be a...
Oh! No!
Rest in pepperoni pieces, Charlie Brown. The kids survive the explosion at least and escape on a dragon's back, leaving Butters behind with the terrorists. Kyle narrowly escaped death, but Cartman only cares about getting his ball sucked, and he'll go to extreme measures to make sure that happens.
Serious blow to democracy has just been dealt, and I want justice. Kyle Broflovsky did willingly sign a contract, and yet he has made no effort, nor does he show any intention of ever sucking my balls.
Yep, Cartman actually took Kyle to court. And unbelievably, the judge declares that Kyle has exactly 24 hours to meet the conditions of the bet or be arrested. Cartman throws a party in celebration of Kyle sucking his balls, and the poor guy shows up to do what the judge ordered. However, the U.S. government saves him before he does the unspeakable.
That's them, sir. Dan Marsh and Kyle Broflovsky. The boys need to come with us.
Who are you?
You need to come with us right now.
Hey, let go of him.
We just need information.
No, he has to suck my balls.
No, the army didn't go there just to save Kyle from sucking Cartman's balls. They actually need the witnesses of the Imagination Land terrorist attack. Eric's screaming is still pretty funny, though. Eric hitchhikes all the way to the Pentagon while the U.S. government shows Kyle and Stan the doorway they're trying to build into the Imagination Land. The boys sing a song that opens the portal into the mythical world, but just as the army is about to venture through the doorway, a security alert is breached. Who do we think that is?
Butters has an unauthorized entry alert. It's coming from Sector 2. Sector 2?
Thought you could get out of your responsibilities.
The hell are you?
That kid you have made a bet that if I could prove I saw a leprechaun, he would suck my balls.
Security tries to usher Cartman away, but he shows the legally binding contract he has from the court, and the government sends Kyle to the conference room to suck Cartman's balls.
I was thinking about using a high-speed shutter with a low depth of field.
God damn it, Carp, I want to get this over with.
You're right, Kyle. A higher depth of field will make sure everything stays in focus. Now, Kyle, when you're sucking my balls, you're just gonna try and focus on how rough and salty my balls feel in your mouth.
Let's just do it.
However, an alarm is raised before Kyle does anything, and the pair are ordered by security to the main hall. A monster comes through the doorway, but gets sucked back into the portal along with Stan. Kyle, meanwhile, is recovering in the hospital from the attack, and Cartman pays him a visit just to try and get his balls sucked. Suddenly, Stan starts communicating with Kyle from the other world, which the government is planning on nuking. The Supreme Court has declared the creatures of Imagination Land not real. Therefore, they can legally nuke them. This ruling also overturns any past imagination-based verdicts like Cartman's ball-sucking bet.
You have to suck my balls first real quick.
No, I don't. The decision was overturned.
We had a deal!
Yeah, the government just declared they aren't technically real, so I was right. I don't have to suck your balls.
It isn't over! I have not waited this long to see you weasel your way out of this bet. Go ahead and go. But I swear, before this day is over, you will suck my balls.
The horrified old people listening in is just fracking hilarious, dude. While Kyle rushes to save Stan and Butters from being obliterated, a battle between the good and evil characters of Imagination Land is underway. The good characters are using Butters' power of imagination to conjure up more weaponry when Stan appears and warns them about the nuke. Meanwhile, the government receives an alert of yet another security breach, which is Cartman mouthing off about leprechauns being declared not real. Another breach soon follows, and this time it's Kyle. He convinces the government that Imagination Land creatures are real, but it's too late.
Member Pig has to die! Now!
Imagination Land is destroyed, and Butters is left alone in a white void, but he simply uses his powers of imagination to bring the world back to life. Now understanding that imagination controls the world, Cartman uses his powers to do something he's been desperately wanting this whole time.
Oh, why look, it's me! And there's Kyle! What's Kyle about to do?
Cartman,
Don't. Oh, Kyle! What are you doing to my balls? Oh, look! It's Kyle sucking my balls!
Now, the ball sucking was imaginary, so Cartman can't be charged with sexual assault, but continuously pestering Kyle to suck his balls is definitely sexual harassment. That bet he had would never hold up in a real-life court, so Cartman has no defense. He'd be sentenced to 364 days for sexual harassment and would probably get another 4 years for stalking since he followed Kyle across the country just to have his balls sucked. Dude really has no shame. Cartman doesn't do detention, and if a teacher gives it to him, he'll make them wish they'd never been born, or at least try to. Mr. Mackey calls an assembly to inform everyone that Principal Victoria has been fired. PC Principal is our new replacement and will not hesitate to punish anyone who is not politically correct. Kyle gets 2 weeks detention for a comment he made about Caitlyn Jenner.
Kyle Broflovski's father?
I've been talking with your child and we're gonna be giving him 2 weeks detention. Your son said some things to a 4th grade girl that frankly make me want to puke. Gonna allow anyone at the school to be made feel unsafe and harassed.
What did he say?
You'll have to excuse my language. I don't think Caitlyn Jenner is a hero.
And Cartman gets 4 days of detention for saying something offensive about Heidi Turner. But the dude ain't gonna do a single second of it. Instead, he meets the principal in the restroom and tries to get him fired.
PC Principal,
What are you doing in the faculty bathroom?
I think you and I got off on the wrong foot the other day. Please keep your dick out. I'm not going to accept 4 days of detention, and you're going to apologize publicly for being so strict.
What the are you talking about?
It's just a request, that's all. Oh, you seem to have dropped something, PC Principal. Why, this is a little boy's underwear. Well, you have Butters' underwear, and now it's got your DNA all over it. I don't need to tell anyone about this. No, I think we have an understanding. Capiche?
The principal gets so mad, but not because he's about to be framed for child molestation.
Just use a term that excludes women from an occupation? Ah! Did you just say spokesman instead of spokesperson? Women are just as capable of selling sandwiches as anyone!
Just trying to frame you for raping Butters.
Do you think Italian Americans and women are less important? You dare to use words that alienate 2 communities of people to deal with verbal biases like yours on a daily basis?
I'm surprised Kyle didn't stick around to watch Cartman get his ass kicked. Fabricating evidence of child molestation is definitely not a politically correct thing to do. Trying to mislead police like that is public mischief, and Cartman would be sentenced to 5 years in jail for the crime. I guess 4 days of detention doesn't sound so bad now, does it, Eric? Remember the TV show Maury? It was like Dr. Phil, but slightly more insane. Anyway, Cartman was desperate to get on that show, and he did something very dishonest to make it happen. Eric, Stan, Kyle, and Butters are watching an episode of Maury where a girl with no midsection gets given a gift certificate to a CD store. They also won a prize, so they send Butters into the show disguised as a disfigured child.
Much for coming on our show.
That's okay, I suppose.
So, is it tough being different?
Yeah.
And do all the kids at school make fun of you?
They sure do.
I have no words. Butters leaves with a trip to a miniature golf course, and the other boys watching at home are pissed that they get none of the prize. Cartman decides to get on the show himself, but when he calls the operator, he's told the show is not interested in deformed children anymore, only out-of-control teens. This should be no problem at all for a little menace like Cartman.
Oh, my little poopsikins gets into no-nos once in a while, but he's still my perfect little sumsy kiddles.
Well, your son made a video backstage. Let's take a look.
Mary, I am out of control. Yeah, I use drugs. I can do what I want. Yeah, I've and I don't use protection. It's my hot body. I'll do what I want. I don't go to school and I kill people. Whatever. I'll do what I want.
Cartman and his mom share the stage with a teenage girl called Vanity and her mom. And the two kids try to convince Maury, who is more out of control.
Whatever. I'll do what I want.
Oh, whatever. You ain't tough. I run with gang.
Oh, yeah? I run with 12 gang. And we only commit hate crimes. Whatever. I'll do what I want.
Whatever. You ain't bad. You ain't nothing. I ditch class and go shoot heroin in the school bathroom.
Whatever. I ran for Congress and won. Then I had with an intern, killed her, and hit her body. Whatever. I'll do what I want.
I love how Vanity's mom is completely shocked while Leanne is just sitting there like she's heard of this all before. Suddenly, a gang of disfigured ex-guests and Butters storm the studio, demanding their employment back and causing the audience to walk out. Cartman is so mad at Butters for ruining his chance of getting a prize and confronts him.
Butters, you have screwed me out of the prize for the last time. Double hamburgers.
That out-of-control kid ripped poor Napoleon's balls right off.
Get him!
The Union of Freaks chased Cartman away, but what if he stuck around long enough for his lie to be exposed to one of the show's operators? If they found out that Cartman was not really a and drug-addicted, Congress-winning intern killer, he could be reported for fraud by misrepresentation, and the penalty would be 5 years in the clink. Not the sort of prize Cartman was wanting. Kids love pirates and think they're cool, but leaving the country to become one is taking the interest a bit too far. The boys are having lunch, but Cartman interrupts them to rant about another one of his stupid ideas.
We can finally do it! Finally leave this crappy town and live the life we've all dreamed of! We can? What are you talking about, dude? Haven't you been watching the news? Pirating is back, my friends. Swashbuckling adventure on the high seas. The stuff we've all dreamed about. And it's all happening right here. Somalia. Somalia? Where's that? North Africa. Just picture it, guys. Clear blue water with Skull Islands. Waterfalls and jeweled treasure underneath.
Cartman tries to recruit people to join his pirate crew, but only 4 boys show up. Well, there were 5, but the captain kicked him out.
Attention! All right, you booty lubbers. So you decided to join Captain Cartman, did you? Guys, who let in the G-I-N-G-E-R? Well, there's really not that many of us. We figured we should let him join. But guys, G-I-N-G-E-Rs can't be pirates because they don't have souls. Please get it out of here. Fine, I don't want to be a pirate anyways.
The crew head to the airport and board a flight to Somalia, which Cartman is paid for by stealing his mom's credit card. When they arrive, Cartman is absolutely shocked to find out what the country is actually like.
This is Somalia?
Where's all the waterfalls and shipwreck lagoons?
They enter a pirate's lair, and the pirates kidnap all the boys. Big shocker. The kids are then taken out to sea on a small boat, and the pirates demand a ransom from a passing cruise ship. The captain pays the ransom, and the children are released. But remember, Cartman has no idea he was even a hostage.
I said, get off my boat!
Hey, c'est pas vous qui nous donnez des ordres.
Ah! What a strange way to say thanks for saving your life. After taking over the ship, they bring it back to the docks and go back to the pirate's lair and brag. He delivers a speech about how the Somalians should strive to become better pirates, inspiring everyone in the lair to join Cartman's crew. Later, Captain Cartman is relaxing at Skull Cove and his crew brings in another hostage.
Ah, good, a hostage will bring a fine ransom. Well.
Kyle must be totally roasting in that winter head. He tries to convince Eric to leave Somalia and give him Ike back, but Cartman refuses and tries to make his hostage walk the plank. Ike and Butters then appear and tell Eric that they want to go back to America. This makes homesick Clyde cry, causing Cartman to turn on his own crew. The Somalians draw their guns on the kids, but a U.S. ship arrives just in time to stop things from getting bloody.
All right, men, remember, do not hit the white ones.
Me and my crew are gonna go on pirating forever!
Claire.
Well, at least for the kids. The kids are then taken home by the U.S. Navy and go back to what Cartman previously described as their crappy lives. But Eric's life will become even more crappier when he gets charged with piracy and jailed for 10 years. He'd also get an extra 18 months for stealing his mom's credit card to pay for 5 tickets to Somalia. Ian's credit score is probably as screwed as her son's future. So Cartman is a cat person, but definitely not when there's food around.
No, Kitty, can't have any! No, Kitty, this is my bad kid! Excuse me, Kitty.
That Popeye had to have come from Taco Bell. Even though he's sometimes nice to Mr. Kitty, that doesn't mean he likes other cats. In fact, in season 8, episode 8, Cartman mentioned something terrible he did to Kenny's pet cat.
Kenny, what's funnier, a giant douche or a turd sandwich?
You're just saying that because I broke your cat's leg last week.
Colorado has really strict animal cruelty laws, and Eric could be sentenced to 12 years in jail for hurting those 2 cats. A court order would also be issued preventing Cartman from owning any pets. It's probably for the best, though. Cats don't get burned, and Eric gets to eat pot pies in peace. You guys, we're only halfway through the video, and Cartman's heinous crimes have already earned him 44 years and 6 months in jail. And if you thought Eric couldn't possibly do anything more insane than stalking Kyle across the country to have his balls sucked, first off, you haven't seen the show, and second off, think again. Because these next crimes I'm about to show you are a billion times more nuts. I got a question for you, viewer. Are you a Nintendo, Xbox, Sony type of person? Cartman's certainly a Nintendo fan, and he once waited a real long time for their latest console to come out, like every Nintendo fan. Cartman is so excited to buy the Nintendo Wii, but it won't be released for another 3 weeks. He paces up and down the South Park Mall like a lunatic until his mom forces him to go home. But back at home, he's unable to sleep because the excitement is just keeping him up all the time. He ends up developing extreme insomnia, and delusion must be one of the symptoms, because how else do you explain this ridiculous idea?
If I freeze myself, then in 3 weeks, when Nintendo Wii comes out, you guys can unfreeze me. The wait will seem instantaneous to me.
Cartman first tries freezing himself in a freezer at home, but his mom catches him and tells him to be patient. He enlists the help of Butters to carry out Plan B, which is even dumber than Plan A, if you can believe it.
You are not to unfreeze me until the day Nintendo Wii comes out. You got it!
Eric, are you sure this is a good idea?
No, it's not a good idea. It's an awesome idea.
Hello, Darwin Awards? I'd like to nominate Eric Cartman, please. Butters goes back to find Cartman once Doogie tells him that freezing yourself kills you. However, he never finds Eric, who is completely frozen and buried underneath an avalanche. Cartman is lost for 500 years and finally gets unfrozen in the year 2546.
This is Monarch Land now. Probably Jarvis probes everywhere.
Hold! This is it, Time Child. The old Museum of Technology. Let's get what you want, Time Child, and get out of here.
Over here! Yes, here! It's here!
Only Eric Cartman could care more about a games console than the fact that all of his family and friends are dead. Now he's finally got his precious Nintendo Wii, and it's time to play, but psych! It's not even compatible with modern televisions. Cartman's so pissed and just wants to go home and play his Nintendo, so he robs 2 kids of their time phone.
Oh, I'm with the cubic waste department. I need to check your Lortran for inhibitors. Okay, I guess. Come on in, Bob. All right, just let me use my tools. Hey!
Haha, stupid I got your time phone.
And uses it to try and stop his past self from freezing.
Who is this? All right, listen. Listen to me carefully. You need to be patient. Who the hell is this? It's me. I'm you in the future. You have to be patient and wait for the Nintendo Wii to come out. Oh, very funny, Kyle. It's not Kyle, it's you. Yeah? Where you can go yourself. I'm trying to do you a favor. Just listen to me. Listen to this.
And yeah, that was a bust. But luckily, the leaders of the future agree to teleport him back to his own time period. He's happy to be back, but there's just one small thing that's gonna make his blood boil.
I think I can wait 3 weeks for Nintendo Wii to come out.
Honey, it's only September.
No! You sent me back too far! Hey, do it over!
If waiting for the Wii made Cartman pissed, he's gonna be even more pissed to learn he's spending 16 years in jail for armed robbery. There ain't no Wii in there, I'll tell you that much. Throughout the 26 seasons of South Park, Cartman's stupidity has caused some very painful accidental deaths. Like when he overdosed on Ritalin and hallucinated a strange bug on Kenny's head.
Phil Collins concert for all of us. Hooray. Uh-oh. Hold still, Kenny. Oh my goodness, you killed Kenny. Bastard.
Well, that was an oddly calm reaction, wasn't it? Or when he tried to kill a turkey with a stage light.
There we go. Good. Oh my god! They killed Kenny!
The penalty for manslaughter can be as high as 10 years, so that's another 2 decades in the clink for Eric. Man, I really don't want to talk about this next crime, especially since 10-year-olds are involved, but we have no choice. Stan, Kyle, and Kenny are hanging out at Cartman's house, and he shows them a book filled with embarrassing pranks he's pulled on Butters.
This picture I like to call the Pierre. I invited Butters to stay the night, and while he was sleeping, I made a mustache on his face with cat poo. And this time, when Butters stayed the night, I put a tampon in his mouth. I call this picture the Sleeping Minstrel. This one I call Hot Fudge Monday. I really like how the light plays with the background on this one.
Is this all you brought us over here to see?
Oh no, there's much more.
If I slept as deep as Butters, I'd be a happy man. Eric says Butters is coming over soon and he'll be performing his best prank ever. And this disgusting prank is revealed the next morning.
It's the greatest picture ever! I waited till he was totally asleep, right? And I pulled down his pants, and then I took a picture of his wiener in my mouth.
Dude!
Check it out, look, I got his whole wiener in my mouth, see? Oh man, I got him good.
He really is a sick little bastard, ain't he? Carl tells Cartman he's actually the gay one since he put Butters' dick in his mouth, and if he wants to cancel out the gay polarity, Butters has to put Eric's penis in his mouth. Yeah, I just said that. I said that on a YouTube channel. Cartman believes what Kyle said, so during the night he blindfolds Butters and tries to trick him into just straight up performing oral sex.
How come I can't see?
Cause then it wouldn't be a surprise, would it? Okay, open your mouth, Butters.
Hey, wait a minute. You're not gonna stick something yicky in my mouth, are you?
I swear on my mother's life.
Okay.
Alright, you ready? Alright, just, okay, open it. Good. Okay, here it comes.
Butters!
Whoa, I'm getting a surprise.
Thank the heavens for grown-ups. As Cartman never explained anything to Butters' dad, Steven simply believes the boys are just bi-curious. I'm bi-furious, he just said that. Butters certainly did not consent to having his mouth anywhere near Eric's penis or vice versa, which means Cartman is guilty of an attempted, meaning that first prank would earn him 24 years and the second one 10 years since it was only an attempt. He really is like the living embodiment of pranksters who went too far. Cartman has zero respect for people's privacy or their possessions, so it wasn't surprising that time he broke into Kyle's house uninvited. Or that time he broke into a bunch of people's houses and rode away with their TVs.
Hey, you guys wanna buy a TV?
Also that time he helped break into a veal ranch.
It says right here on the Mission Impossible breaking and entering playset, not for actual breaking and entering. Breaking and entering is a crime.
Yeah, well, killing little helpless baby cows should be a crime too. How does this thing work, Cartman? Jesus, don't you guys have any toys? First you put on the black ski mask and use the torch to cut a hole in the roof.
And that, my friends, is the real danger of screen time addiction. For trespassing in Kyle's house, Cartman would be imprisoned for 18 months, and there were like 5 TVs attached to Cartman's bike, so he must have broken into at least 5 houses. That's 60 years for burglary. Lastly, we got the trespassing on agricultural land. That's an even bigger no-no, and carries a 3-year sentence. The closest most 10-year-olds get to drugs are all those strange E numbers and candy. But Cartman's chubby hands have touched more hardcore drugs than your average child. For example, there was that time he formed a Crack Baby Athletic Association, which was a literal business that took crack-addicted babies and made them compete against each other for the drug. Oh, and did I mention he filmed the whole thing and posted it online for the world to see?
Just video the babies fighting over a ball full of crack. It's really getting popular.
Assuming the winning baby got awarded the crack, Eric would be facing 2 counts of drug dealing. And I say 2 because in that very same episode, Cartman tried to recruit new babies for his business by selling crack to a pregnant woman. Altogether, that is a hot 80 years for drug dealing. And if you thought that was bad, let me remind you of the time Eric showed his mom how much he loves her by creating a literal meth lab and framing her as some kind of drug lord.
Got any needles on you? Any crack pipes?
Oh my goodness, no. I haven't used drugs in quite a while.
Then why is there a meth lab in your backyard?
in a while. Maybe that's why Cartman's so messed up in the head. He's brain damaged from all those drugs Leanne took while pregnant. Producing meth will see another 16 years added to Eric's sentence. Plus, he'll get an extra 5 years for public mischief by framing his mom. What a thoughtful boy he is. Can you guess what Cartman wants to be when he grows up? Surprisingly, it's not a convicted felon. Stan and Kyle find Eric crying by his locker over Mr. Garrison's latest assignment.
Dude, you've been sitting at your locker crying since lunch break. Something's going on.
It's just that essay that Garrison assigned us.
What I want to be when I grow up?
I don't like thinking about what I want to be when I grow up, all right?
Why not?
Because when I grow up, I want to be something that I know I can never be, Stan.
Cartman, tell us.
I want to be a NASCAR driver, okay?
The boys comfort Eric, believing he thinks it's his size that's stopping him from achieving his dreams. However, the real reason is actually way more egotistical.
No, I can't. I'll always be like this.
Dude, no, you don't know that.
Come on, you guys, I have to face facts. NASCAR is only for poor and stupid people. I don't have what it takes.
What?
I'm not poor and stupid enough to do NASCAR, and I never will be.
Cartman's blatant prejudice pisses off everyone, so he attempts to prove his point by turning himself poor and stupid. He does this by giving Butters all his money and eating Vagisil.
Is there anybody coming?
No, you're good.
No, can't help it.
Little boy, what are you doing?
Oh my god, Butters, I feel kind of stupid.
I don't remember this episode of My Strange Addiction. Now that Cartman's convinced he's transformed from Einstein to he's ready for the race. And all that Vagisil must have worked wonders because he does end up hijacking a race car and stupidly causing this catastrophic accident on the track.
It looks like the Dale Evans car is going the wrong way!
Oh,
Cartman ends up in the hospital from the accident, and what the doctor tells him is just perfect.
No, really. Of all the idiotic, dumb ways I've seen kids injure themselves, yours takes the cake.
Eric's career as a NASCAR racer was short-lived, just like the lives of those 11 people he just ended. Cartman would be charged with manslaughter and receive 10 years and a $500,000 fine per death. Altogether, that's 110 years and a colossal $5.5 million fine. Probably enough money to buy every single instance of Vagisil in the United States. Plus, there's the theft of the Vagisil, and that's an extra 6 months on top of all that. Things are really not looking good for this little dude. And it's only gonna get worse. Did you know Cartman actually ended Super Nanny's entire career? Yeah, that's how bad he is.
3 days' time, you're going to see a new Eric Cartman.
She spends most of her time sobbing and eating her own excrement.
That's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. Since the best nanny in the world couldn't fix Cartman's out-of-control behavior, the doctor recommends Leanne try out another reality show.
The one dog is always the pack leader.
stop ignoring me! This is abuse! I'm entitled to attention!
I've brought over some Kentucky Fried Chicken. I am going to eat first.
Give me the chicken. Give me some chicken. I want chicken. Give me some goddamn chicken. Give me the chicken. Give me the chicken. I want the chicken. Chicken. May I have some chicken, please?
Oh, very good, sweetie.
Oh, no, now he's lying.
Suck my Taco Bender! Hand it over! You can't do that to me! I just
Cartman is so angry at his mom for disciplining him that he comes up with a plan to kill her. He sneaks into his mother's bedroom in the middle of the night and tries to commit murder, but he has a last-second change of heart. Oh, did you now?
You couldn't just love me as a son. You just had to humiliate and degrade me with your ruse. Goodbye, Mother. Wait, maybe I don't have the right to kill my mom. I can do whatever I want with her. It's more important I live the way I want. She isn't an object I can own. It's a human being. Yeah! Oh, she's making you suffer! Maybe all these changes are good for me. Maybe the world doesn't revolve around me.
Caesar here leaves the next morning, and Leanne goes back to spoiling Cartman by buying him not one, but 2 Mega Rangers. And she isn't the only person Eric has tried to kill. Take a look.
You got it? Wait a minute, isn't that... Game on! Oh, no, you don't.
What are you doing?
Every time I close my eyes, I see the house we teepeed. I see the tears of our art teacher and hear the screams of her daughters.
And you feel like you have to confess.
I don't know what to do. Part of me feels like I have to end it all now. Tell people what happened. You know, I never noticed how beautiful this pond was before. So calm. The world can be like that, so calm on the outside, as if nothing bad ever happens. Ow! What the hell are you doing, Cartman?
I'm killing you, but unfortunately I could only afford a wiffle bat, so it's gonna take a while. Cartman, we're confessing tomorrow at school, and that's final. I'm afraid I can't let that happen.
You can't kill all 3 of us, Cartman.
Can't I?
Dang, the other characters should be grateful Cartman is dumb as hell. If he was even of average intelligence, I'm sure many of his murder attempts would have actually been successful. Eric attempted to murder 5 people in those clips, so that's 240 years. 48 years for each lucky person who escaped the claws of death. There is no denying Cartman's a bully. But how many people has he assaulted? A lot.
Who's there? Igmar Bergman. Now you say Igmar Bergman who?
Take that, Jimmy, and that! And don't you ever talk bad about Kyle again! Kyle is my friend! And if you say you had with his mom one more time, I'm gonna really let you have it. You hear me?
Excuse me?
You aren't anyone tonight.
Oh, it's a talking squirrel.
Get to safety!
Another woman saved.
Actually, I'm no longer with Kuhn and Friends. I work on my own now.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, of course.
Do you know Mintberry Crunch? What's he like?
Yeah, and with Cartman's enormously fat, the boys are sure to win.
You call me fat one more time, I'm gonna smack you in the head with this rock. Stop.
Oh!
Cartman committed 8 counts of assault in those clips alone. The maximum penalty for crime in Colorado is 32 years plus a $750,000 fine. That means Eric's going to be serving 256 years in the slammer and he'll have to pay a whopping $6 million fine for all that. Yeah, he should have definitely considered taking up anger management classes. Leanne Cartman seems to think her son is a little angel, but this kill compilation would convince her otherwise.
My goo! My precious goo!
There's too many of them. We're gonna need backup.
But it screws up my trick or treat and gets away with it. Yeah, kids.
Like, if that doesn't convince her that her son is evil, maybe seeing him thrown in jail for 480 years will. That's 40 years per person he killed there. Remember the iconic episode Casa Bonita? Well, your desire to visit the restaurant in real life probably made you forget about something terrible Cartman did in that episode. Kyle's birthday is coming up, and he wants to celebrate at the cool Mexican restaurant, Casa Bonita. He invites Stan, Kenny, and Butters, but not Cartman for obvious reasons.
Kyle, when have I ever ripped on you for being a Jew? Oh yeah? Well, you're a stupid Jew. You're a Jew. Shut your goddamn Jew mouth. Good job, Jew. Jew. Shut Jew. You're Jewish. Dude is Jewish. Jew. 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 I told you Jewish people don't have rhythm. Ah, Cartman!
Now just imagine if Kyle was also a hippie from San Francisco. He'd have to change schools. Despite being explicitly not invited, nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to stop Eric from enjoying a night of food and fun in a festive atmosphere. So when Kyle agrees to let Cartman go, Butters for some reason can't, Eric springs into action. He convinces Butters that a meteor is heading straight for Earth and takes him to find shelter.
There's dried food and water to last us for weeks. But what about everyone else? I have to tell my parents so they can come here too.
No, Butters, I can't let you risk it. I'll go up and get the others.
Are you sure?
I'm not sure of anything anymore. No matter what you hear, do not come out. If I don't make it back in time with the others, then it will be up to you to repopulate the Earth.
How did Cartman even know where to find a bomb shelter anyway? Sly little Cartman rushes to Kyle's and takes Butters' place to the birthday party. However, it gets postponed due to the boy's disappearance. Poor Butters is left in the bomb shelter for 3 days before his captor frees him, and that's only because he was scared of getting caught by the cops. And if you thought that was bad, what about the time Cartman trapped 63 hippies in a basement?
Hey, you gotta let us out, man! This is inhumane! Open this door right now!
All right, in you go.
What are you doing, man?
Get back, or you're all gonna get maced.
For committing 64 counts of kidnapping, Mr. Eric Cartman will be in prison for the next 1,536 years. So he can kiss goodbye to wonderful meals at Casa Bonita and say hello to the sludge they call food in prison. Eric is an evil little bugger, and the fact that his voice actor Trey Parker also voices Satan really is the most ironic thing to me. Cartman has committed at least 8 acts of terrorism during the show. He first formed an anti-China organization called the American Liberation Front, and with the help of Butters, he held everyone at a P.F. Chang's restaurant hostage.
They're taking over our country, Butters. This is life or death now. Help me. Everyone get up and get over to that wall. Do it. Move. We are the American Liberation Front, and you are all going to pay for betraying your country to the Chinese.
Next, he used an interdimensional being named Cthulhu to kill all the people he hated, and that included Jews, Justin Bieber,
Tim. So long, Justin Bieber, you little douchebag.
The people of San Francisco and hippies.
Hippies, all you.
You know, I'm kind of curious to know why Cartman hates hippies so much. Did they rip him off as some bad pot or something? The worst act of terrorism Cartman committed was in the episode World War Zimmerman, where he caused thousands of deaths by hijacking multiple airplanes.
Yeah! Shoot it!
Engine number 9, running down Chicago line. If the train should jump the track, do you want your money back? Yeah.
Black guy in the back.
Now let's find Zimmerman.
Terrorism would undoubtedly get Cartman locked up for life without parole, but if we put his sentence into figures, it'd be approximately 32 million years. 40 years for each of the 800,000 people I estimated were killed in the terrorist attacks, and 40 years for all the people held hostage in the restaurant. Overall, throughout this whole video, Eric's sentence is through the roof at a mind-boggling 32,002,942 years and 6 months long. Are there any characters who can outdo Cartman's sentence? Click the screen to find out how other villains compare.